1. We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. I really appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, take a quick second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate you hanging out with me. So I just want to have, general talk, general discussion about the Lakers. Hear all your thoughts and opinions. Kind of let you guys control and dictate the conversation. Anybody that's watched this in the replay, leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll try to get to as many as I can. And again, just generalized conversation. But, so far, the first two games, a lot of the struggles, at least in my opinion, can be kind of boiled down to just shot making, right? Like even the Denver game. You look at all of the stats, you look at everything that went into that game, they were identical, right? Same amount of turnovers, both had 11 turnovers, both shot 75% from the foul line. Both teams were relatively in the same ballpark. One team hit more shots than the other, right? The Denver Nuggets shot 91 attempts, shot like 52%, I think it was 52%. Lakers shot 90 field goals, were like 46%, somewhere in that ballpark. And then 3-point percentage was the disparity as well. That was the difference in the Denver game, right? Then you go into the Phoenix Suns game, and I know a lot of people are in like panic mode because of how, the Lakers looked, especially with all of the, the fact that Devin Booker and Bradley Beal weren't there. But again, I don't put too much into that. You see it every year. Teams, the role guys step up big, right? Even the Lakers last year, even before we did the trades and stuff, we had games where we beat teams without LeBron or without LeBron and AD. And, guys step up. It's like, hey, I'm not going to get to play 30 minutes a game. Like Goodwin played like 30 minutes. Like he's not playing 30 minutes a game for the Phoenix Suns. And he was great for them, right? You see it all the time. You see it at times. Also, game plans are different. Rotations are probably different. Like everything is different if Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are there. Not saying that we would have won the game if they were there, but who knows? It's something that we can't measure, right? But again, in that Phoenix game, a lot of it was just them out hustling us, them out playing us, and then us just not hitting shots again, right? If we start, which our shots should start falling. You look at Taurean Prince. You look at, D'Angelo Russell. You look at Austin Reeves. Those are three guys that are 40% from three. At some point, those guys are going to come around. And I know there's the concern of the Lakers curse, right, when shooting the basketball. But a couple things. One, D'Lo, we already saw last year shoot 40% from Lakers. Austin Reeves, same thing. Taurean Prince looked great in preseason and then shot like 66% or whatever it was in the first game against Denver, right? He's a veteran. He's built a career on that. So I expect them to turn it around. Rui Hachimura, questions about him, right? He's been really good in the postseason, right, in the playoffs, but can't seem to translate it in the regular season. Does that become a thing this season? That's definitely something of concern. Secondly, you have, right, like Gabe Vincent's 0 of 9 or 0 of 10 from three-point range. You got to imagine at some point that's going to right a little bit. Not saying that he's going to be shooting the lights out, but at some point he's going to get around to his average. Same thing with Christian Wood. He's going to get around to his average. But right now, it's just kind of monitoring, right? It's just kind of going through the flows, going through the motions. Guys are getting their feet wet, getting their NBA legs under them. Darvin Ham's experimenting with different lineups, trying and test different things. Once we get about 20, 25, 30 games in, I think we'll have a clear-cut understanding of where we are. Law of averages should start averaging out at that point. And I just think you'll have a completely different Laker team. I think you'll see a very different Laker team. But in general, I don't think it's anything of concern. Again, it's 2 games in. We have a back-to-back coming up, right? I believe we have the most back-to-backs in the league. So it's going to be interesting. Also, does Anthony Davis and LeBron James play both back-to-backs? You got to imagine that this one, there's got to be at least both of them, if not at least one of them, playing these back-to-backs. Because if you were ever going to play them in a back-to-back, it would be this one against the Kings in Orlando, game 3 and 4 of the season, right? Like if you're already sitting them and resting them, then that doesn't bode well for the future. Plus, you got to imagine that with the new 65-game rule, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you got to imagine they're going to want to play as many games as possible so that way they can have the potential to get the accolades. But we need the role guys to step up. We can't be relying on a 39-year-old LeBron James to carry us down the stretch. We can't be relying on Anthony Davis to basically have to give us 30 and 15 just for us to be competitive. We need other guys to step up, right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're going to do what they're going to do, but we should be in the position where the add-ons, the other guys are also chipping in, and now we're kind of coasting, doing better in games. But, anyway, let's get to some of the chat here, and then we'll touch on various things throughout this live stream. What's up, Zach? Appreciate you being here. Hello. Ugly start to the season. Just need Rui and D'Lo to hit shots, and no one is keeping up. Yeah, again, I'm with you. To me, it just, once again, boils down to just shot making. Hit shots, and we should be okay, right? Like, that's kind of just been the pressing issue, in my opinion, these first few games, is just guys not hitting shots. Once the shots start falling, we'll get a better understanding of the Lakers. One thing I did like in the fourth quarter of that Phoenix Suns game, we saw that number one defense. We saw that elite level defense. We saw that we can be very good. And I fully expect us to be, top 3 at worst defensively, maybe top 5. But it's just the offense. The offense has to start trickling in. What's going on, Devon? Appreciate you being here. It's a shame we all have size and Ham refuses to use it. In what regard? I don't understand that. Like, we saw Christian Wood and Anthony Davis. We saw Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes. He's gone with lineups with like Rui and Cam Reddish, both 6'8" guys, right? Like, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, Darvin Ham isn't using size, like, or they'll be like, oh, look at Darvin Ham's using 3 guards. Like, wait a minute, Prince has played power forward pretty much his whole career. He's like 6'7". He's a forward. Cam Reddish, I know he's played shooting guard on occasion, but he's 6'8", right? And then same thing, like D'Lo and Reeves are both 6'5", right? Like Darvin Ham will have like, a Gabe Vincent and like a Reeves in the lineup, but so does everybody. Not just that, every team in the league plays 3, sometimes 4 guard lineups. I mean, look at what Denver did. Phoenix was running 4 or 5 guards out there at times, right? It's just like, I don't understand what the not using size means. Like, are we supposed to do Hayes, Wood, and Anthony Davis 40 minutes a game, right? And it's experimentation time, right? It's the second game of the season. Darvin Ham said before the season started that he was going to experiment in preseason and in the regular season, in the beginning of the regular season, and everyone was on board with that. And now people are freaking out. Again, it's the second game of the season. Let's give it time. What's going on, Joey? Appreciate you being here. Lakers still can't shoot, fam. I don't know if it's nerves or what. It ain't looking good so far. If we're still shooting bad after 10 games, we might need to reevaluate some things. Yeah, like I said, I want to give it some time. You got to imagine that the laws of averages eventually are going to pan out. Like right now, it is like, yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Like they're getting the shots. They're getting the looks. Like that's not the issue. They're hitting shots. The problem lies in them, or not hitting shots, but them getting the looks. The problem lies in them not hitting the shots, right? It's like they're missing so many just easy gimme buckets, wide open jumpers. I don't think it's panic mode yet, but if we do start getting 10, 15 games into the season and we're still struggling to shoot, then we need to start like figuring out, then there's got to be something more than just the Lakers are trying to get in rhythm and get their feet wet, right? Like, only role player who's shown up so far is Prince. Yeah, Prince has looked very good. I don't know. I wouldn't say the only role player. I mean, offensively, yes, like if you count game 1, but like Cam Reddish has been fantastic defensively. Fantastic. I mean, even what he did on Kevin Durant, he was great. Problem is Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was lighting him up, but it wasn't because he wasn't playing good defense. He was doing everything he could. The Lakers were doing everything. I mean, they were throwing all kinds of defensive looks at him. He just is Kevin Durant, right? And he was hitting shots. He's done his whole career. So, I mean, on the offensive side, yeah, I guess you could say Prince is the only one with that one game. But I think, Christian Wood was fantastic. Gabe Vincent has been great defensively. Even D'Angelo Russell, he's been really good defensively. Right? He's not Jared Vanderbilt, but he's been enough. He's disrupting passing lanes, having active hands, getting deflections, closing hard, staying in front of guys, funneling guys. I mean, in that Suns game, Anthony Davis got like 2 blocks because of D'Lo. Because D'Lo literally just funneled him right into boom, the shot blocker. Like, that's what you want to see. But Avery, what's going on? I appreciate you. SN's Lakers, what would you want the Lakers to do with the 15th roster spot? Right now, nothing. But once we get to like the buyout market and the trade deadline and stuff like that, I think you need to look at a more sizable center, right? Like, go get a veteran guy. It's something that I've talked about. Like, I want a veteran guy, right? Somebody that, one, is going to be okay with playing limited minutes and having nights where he gets a DNP and he just wants to be on the roster. Maybe that's DeMarcus Cousins. Maybe that's, Myers Leonard, something like that, where they have an understanding. But go get a sizable veteran guy that's going to buy in, that's not going to be a locker room issue, that's going to, buy into the team. I'd like to get him, towards the last half of the season rather than signing him like what we did with Tristan Thompson, where we signed him right before the playoffs. I'd rather get that guy kind of early, just so that way we can start getting him in a rhythm, start getting him in the flow. So it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, now we're playing Denver in the second round, and it's like, here you go, good luck. And now he's getting torched, and he's just, he's not in game shape. He doesn't have his legs under him, and now it's a little awkward. Like, I'd rather get the guy relatively early, not yet, right? Because, get past the trade deadline. Because what if we do, just using this as an example, but let's say, what if we do end up trading for like Buddy Hield and Miles Turner? Let's say Indiana doesn't start, or Indiana's starting to fall. They want to get a better draft pick or something. It's like, okay, well, let's just move off of Miles Turner. Let's move off of Buddy Hield. Lakers go make that move. Well, now you don't need a sizable center, right? So it's like, what do you need at that point? I don't want to get somebody that could impact, maybe a potential trade or something, and now you got to like waive a guy, and it's just, I'd rather wait, get through this process, right, and then have a clear-cut understanding of what to expect once we get into the playoffs. But excellent question. Red Pill, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Tyler, you are the trade idea guy. The West is stacked. We have the pieces to trade for a real difference maker. Thoughts on Reeves, D'Lo for Siakam and Trent? Well, first off, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Seriously, thank you. But I would, like, if we could, the problem is the price tag for Siakam is so high, right? Like they want basically like Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid style trade. I don't think Siakam is very realistic. Look, if you can turn Siakam and Trent into, or turn Reeves and D'Lo into Siakam and Trent, I think you do it, right? Because Gary Trent will give you that 3-and-D. He can be a scorer. He can be a shooter. I like the idea of Trent there, and then Siakam kind of be that point forward. He also could fill in for LeBron post-LeBron, which would be really nice because he's kind of accustomed to being that point forward guy, and you can run your offense through him. I also think just defensively and offensively, he would provide some relief. I don't know if that, like, I'm not like super sold on that trade. Like, I think it would make us better. My question is how much better, right? Like, because Siakam, like, Lakers need a few things, right? They need another elite, like, scorer or shot creator, a guy that can shoot over the top more. That is something that is very important that the Lakers could use pretty badly. The other thing is just, a big body center that could kind of fill in. And I don't think, like, Trent helps with that a little bit, but he's not like elite at that. Siakam, again, I like Siakam, but I don't think he really helps all that much in that regard. To me, realistic trades, right? Because obviously we'd all love, Joel Embiid or something like that. Or, but like, to me, like, realistic moves would be something like, if Chicago starts falling apart, can we work out a deal to go get like, why am I blanking on his name? Debo, right? Get DeMar DeRozan, get Alex Caruso, go get like Andre Drummond off the bench, right? You could probably get those three, or even if you don't get Caruso, just can we go get Drummond and DeRozan, right? Because now DeRozan, yes, he doesn't give you the 3-point shooting, but he gives you one clutch closing offense. I mean, he's been one of the best closers in the entire league. He also plays like 75 to 80 games a year. So he's going to be a guy that can stay on the basketball court. He gives you that go-to scorer. He's a guy that can shoot over the top and create and generate his own offense. It's not the athletic scorer that we could use, like a Zach Lavine would probably fit a lot better in that role. But I think that DeMar DeRozan would give us enough and stick with the firepower and that consistency that would put us over the top. I'd look at something like that. Another option is, like I said, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. That could be an option. I saw someone say get James Harden. James Harden, theoretically, makes a lot of sense, right? Because, again, he gives you an elite playmaker. He led the league in assists last year. He can take a lot of pressure off of LeBron during the regular season, gives you playmaking, shooting, all of that. A lot of like the concerns that I've seen that people have about going and getting James Harden, I don't really think are concerns. You would still have plenty of depth, right? So you could go and trade like D'Lo and Rui, go get James Harden, right? You still have all of your depth. You basically turn D'Lo and Rui, two guys, and into James Harden, so you're down a guy, but you still have 12 other guys, and you could go get somebody in the buyout market or whatever. The Lakers would be fine depth-wise. Offensively, you get that, shot creator, a guy that can be a consistent scorer, all that stuff. And the issue and the concern that I have, though, one is just the locker room issues, and him and just his nonsense becomes a big issue. Another thing is just him disappearing in the playoffs. That's a real concern, right? But if he's the third option, second to third option on most nights, then maybe that, kind of makes it so it's not as impactful. It's not like if James Harden has a game where he only gives you 12 points, right? It's not like the end of the world if Anthony Davis and LeBron show up and he can still give you playmaking and stuff. But I'd stay away from that. But more likely, I would look at like Chicago. I think Chicago has a couple pieces that we could really use on this roster, and I think that at some point they're going to end up having to kind of tear it down. Maybe even go get Vu. Although I'm not really big on his contract long term, but he's another piece. But anyway, again, really appreciate that, Red Pill. Thank you so much for the super chat. But next thing, moving on. I don't know who the best in the East, but my guess is Milwaukee. I still like Boston talent-wise over Milwaukee. My problem with Boston is they're one of those teams that like I can't believe in them until they show me otherwise, and like again, this is trying to remove my Laker bias here because the Laker in me wants to be like, F Boston, they ain't doing nothing. But if I kind of just be objective basketball-wise, Boston, I think you can make an argument 1 through 5 have probably the best 5-man unit in the league starting-wise, as far as like each position goes. But like, I think their depth is a big concern. Just mentally, right? Their mental toughness is the big problem for them. They just don't have the mental fortitude to really be a championship team. And I think the loss of Marcus Smart impacts that more than people think, right? Drew Holiday will kind of help with a lot of like the on-court stuff. But I think like just getting Jason Tatum to show up in big games and big moments, I think still becomes a problem. Milwaukee, they're definitely there. To me, it's Milwaukee and Boston. I think that they're just head and shoulders over everyone else in the East. But you never know. Things happen. Like look at Miami last season. So I'm still very excited for this team. Like I still believe the Lakers win 50 to 55 games, like I originally said. I thought they'd win somewhere in the 50 to 55 game range. They're still too talented. They have a ton of depth. Like everything, eventually things are going to start falling in line. And once they do, you're just going to see a different team. It'll take a couple games, but we'll be okay. I want to see Reeves, Rui, D'Lo, Gabe, Wood, and Prince step up big time. Yeah, that would definitely be nice. We do. Again, the other guys need to step up. Like Tyrone said, just wait until our other guys get going. Exactly. Again, like that's been the biggest issue, in my opinion, for the Lakers. It's just guys just aren't hitting shots. As soon as guys start getting, again, it's the law of averages, like I've said several times on the stream, right? It's the law of averages. Once we get the law of averages going and guys start hitting and making their shots to the percentages that they've built an entire career on, you're going to see a real Lakers team. That's when you're going to see the Lakers be very difficult to beat and start rattling off a bunch of wins here. I've seen a clip of Vando dribbling in practice. This makes me smile. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't take too long. There were the reports that 2 weeks? 2 weeks he's going to be reevaluated. So hopefully he bounces back in those 2 weeks, and because we can use him just as defense, and hopefully his shot is better. Hey, do you think our Lakers will win the in-season cup? If I'm being honest, no, because I don't think it's going to be a priority. They have said that they will and whatnot, and there is it wouldn't surprise me if they did. I just don't think that's going to be of high importance. Same thing with the Phoenix Suns, same thing with the Milwaukee Bucks, same thing with the Boston Celtics. These teams that are in contention and actually have a shot at the NBA championship, I don't think to them they're going to look at it as oh, we should get the cup. You can make an argument for morale and statement. It'd be nice for the Lakers to go win that cup because it's okay, look, we're here, right? But I think the more middle of the pack teams are probably going to be the ones that win it. A team like Sacramento or the Warriors or the Clippers or the Knicks or the Cavs or something like that. They get hot during that 5-game stretch or whatever, and then they end up pulling it out. Where a team like the Lakers, they're just trying to stay healthy. They're just trying to do what they need to do to get into the postseason because they're one of the 5 teams that have a real chance at winning an NBA championship. It's kind of my thoughts. I mean, who knows? Time will tell. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they do go and try to do it. I mean, the fact that the games count, I think, are very important. And I think that helps the Lakers' incentive. But let's say they were going to give LeBron a rest. If it was the playoffs, LeBron ain't taking that rest. Or if a guy has a nagging injury, right? Like right now, if it was the playoffs, Jared Vanderbilt would probably be playing right now. But we're 2 games into the season, even 2 weeks out. We're only 8 games into the season. Let them rest. Let them get some time. It'll be okay. But if it's the playoffs, it's a different scenario. If it's the cup and we're going for the cup and Anthony Davis has a nagging injury, if it was the playoffs, he'd probably play through that. But it's who cares about the cup? We're trying to win a championship. AD, you're going to sit out the next 3 games. That's kind of what I mean. And I feel that way about all the teams. The Phoenix Suns, if Bradley Beal and Devin Booker aren't 100%, they're not going to be okay, well, let's play them so we can go win the cup like they would in the postseason. So, Keith, what's going on? So like you said in one of your recent videos, this team needs to have some time to build some chemistry around 20 to 25 games. And I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. Again, as the season progresses, this team's going to get better because they're going to get a better understanding of each other. They're going to build that chemistry. They're going to start, again, law of averages. Guys are going to start hitting shots. The defensive intensity will pick up. Guys will have a better role carved out. Darvin Ham will have a better understanding of his rotation and lineup. Right now, it's experimentation mode, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that, right? One of our best lineups in the Denver game was with Rui and LeBron James at the power forward and center spot. Literally, we closed the quarter with that, and we were great. They completely neutralized Jokic during that stretch, all of that. Now, here's the thing. You wouldn't want to play that long-term against Denver, but that's good to know for, say we play the Warriors, right? Say we play, a team that goes small. Or when Denver does take out Jokic and they like to go with Aaron Gordon at the 5. We know we could kind of match that in the playoffs with LeBron and Rui because that unit is really good together, right? Those are the things that you don't find out until you get or you actually get them on the court and have them play together. And then it's okay, well, now this unit's doing this. Okay, well, these 5 guys look great. I know a lot of people are concerned with the rotation and certain lineups and stuff. It'll be okay. We got to get through even Christian Wood. If you didn't throw Christian Wood out there and Kevin Durant and try that, then who knows if we win this game, right? But the fact that Darvin Ham experimented with that and it worked and paid off, that's very telling. That changes a lot, right? So now we know, okay, well, he can defend perimeter guys. Where most people before that moment would have said, what is Darvin Ham doing? Why is Darvin Ham throwing Christian Wood on Kevin Durant? It becomes a different thing. So what's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you being here. How are you? Do you think Darvin Ham will move Reeves to the bench when Vando returns? I don't, not immediately. But I could see at some point, depending on how things play out, them moving Reeves. I made a whole video on today earlier. It's actually it was up like 2 hours ago. So check it out after this live stream if you haven't checked it out yet. But basically talking about that very thing. Austin Reeves playing as the sixth man. I know some people want to see D'Lo in that spot, like move him to the bench. If you want to know all the ins and outs and like my thoughts on that, go watch that video. I don't want to spend 20 minutes like diving into that. So go check out that video. But I like Reeves off the bench because one, he's proven in that role. Two, him and Rui have good chemistry together. And Austin Reeves, I think, is a better like gap player. So you start D'Lo, you go with like Prince, Vando, LeBron, and AD. I think that's a great, sizable, versatile, two-way style starting five. You still got shooting with Taurean Prince. You got Vando for defense, Prince with better defense. D'Lo has been really good defensively. You got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, obviously. And then you swap D'Lo with Reeves to close the game, right? And you could have that same unit, or maybe even go Christian Wood. You could do Christian Wood if you wanted to instead of Prince. And then, maybe you have like a positionless lineup where LeBron's the point guard, but on the defense side of basketball, Vando's guarding, the best player, D'Lo's guarding, whoever, and then Wood is guarding out on the perimeter, so on and so forth. You kind of make that work, but he did. He stepped up. And look, I have preached all offseason about Christian Wood and his defense. Again, if you followed Christian Wood for his career, I did a whole video breakdown on his defense. He's good defensively. The problem is Dallas wanted him to be Anthony Davis. He is not Anthony Davis. When you are on a team where you are terrible defensively and all of your frontline attackers are all getting blown by and you're on an island and have to defend basically four guys in front of you, he's going to get destroyed every time. Again, Anthony Davis is so good. He can make up so much ground. You see a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, he can make up so much ground, right? But Christian Wood isn't that guy. Now, if you have good defense, Christian Wood is great at playing within the defense, can defend out on the perimeter, can be a good blindside help defender, can block shots, and be a deterrent at the rim if guys aren't just getting blown by every possession. When Luka can't even guard his shadow, let alone an actual offensive player, and he gets blown by, and now Wood has to worry about his guy, and now this guy, a Jean Morant coming at him full speed, then yeah, he's not going to be great defensively. So a lot of it, the reputation of like he's not good defensively really stemmed from Dallas and towards the tail end of the Houston time, which again, Houston was awful defensively. But you look at like his time in Detroit, Milwaukee, stuff like that, he was very good defensively. He's going to be good for the Lakers defensively. I've been liking Cam and D'Lo on defense. Wood played well on defense too. Yeah, I mean, everyone's really buying in on the defense side of the basketball, which you got to love. Cam Reddish has been fantastic defensively. His size, his length, his foot speed, everything is very valuable, and it's going to be a big thing going forward. He's also kind of had to step into that Jared Vanderbilt role momentarily, and I think he's doing a good job. Obviously, there's no replacing Jared Vanderbilt. You can make an argument he's the best on-ball defender in the entire league. So the fact that Reddish has been holding his own, I think, is huge. D'Lo, again, I mean, he deserves a lot of praise. Like, a lot of people love to kind of scapegoat him and blame him for everything, kind of get on his case about it. Dude, at least defensively, like, that's why he's staying on the court, is because defensively he's been very good, like very good. So he deserves credit. And then Wood. Yeah, Wood's been fun. I just dove into Wood. Zach, what's going on? Lakers might be a top 10 offense. They just have to work on it, and they will get there. Yeah, I mean, Lakers were like 7th in offense last year, and we're better offensively this year. Lakers will be top 5 offense. They just, again, guys just got to start hitting shots. Like I've said 100 times, say it again, law of averages will eventually work its way out. and the Lakers will be good. I like our defense. Our defense has been really good. We need to get our offense going. Rui got to do more when his shots aren't falling. Reeves and D'Lo got to play better defense offensively. Agree. Yeah, look, our defense again will be at worst top 3. I'm not worried about our defense. I think our defense will be great. I think our defense will be fine. But there is I want to see it more over the course of a game rather than like, okay, hey, we're down 12, let's turn it on, right? Because I mean, dude, at like the 5-minute mark or whatever, the Suns were only at like 3 points. Yeah, they weren't hitting shots, but defensively we were fantastic. Kevin Durant kind of ran out of gas a little bit there, but it was also I mean, we were doing a really good number on the defensive side, rebounding the ball well, everything. We kind of fixed a lot of the problems that we had early on in that game. But I'd like to see that not be a thing where it's like, okay, it's the fourth quarter, let's turn it on, right? Like, you know, I don't want that to be the case. Like the 2020 team kind of did that at times where it was like they were so good that like they kind of just would coast through the first half and then like kind of pick it up in the third quarter. And then if they had a lead, the game was over going into the fourth. But even if they didn't have a lead, let's say they were down 10 or whatever, they would just like flip that switch and like lock in and then they pull out the win. Like this team, I think, has more overall talent, but they're not there yet. They don't have the chemistry. They don't have like all the things that team had. And not just that, they're not like Kevin Durant with the Warriors, right? Like Kevin Durant with the Warriors, it was like they could be down 30. Like the Warriors with Kevin Durant could be like, let's give them a 40-point lead and then just beat them by 5, right? Like it was like a different thing. This isn't that Lakers team. So I want to see some more consistency with them. D'Lo has been great defensively. Offensively, his drives have been good. He just got to stop that leaning fadeaway jumper. He's been doing in the brick it every time. Yeah, he just got to get – the thing is that he likes that shot because he usually hits it, right? But it's just his shot's not falling right now. So he's got to see the ball go through the hoop a couple times, and I think he'll be okay. What do you think about Harden? I touched on James Harden already, but for those that are new that are here – so James Harden fixes a lot of what the Lakers need, right? Problem is two things. One is him completely disappearing in the playoffs. But if he's like the third guy, it might not be as big of an issue. And his upside is so much bigger. That's something else I didn't really touch on. His upside is a lot bigger than like D'Lo's in the playoffs, right? James Harden can single-handedly go win you a game by himself, as we saw this last playoffs. But my biggest thing is just his mental and him, one, buying in, and two, like, does he long-term go, okay, like, you know, one, he wants to be here, and two, like at any point, it's just like that switch flips and now he wants out, and now you're kind of in this like rough spot, right? So to me, James Harden is like panic mode, right? Like, or you just get him so cheap that like, you know, like you're just basically doing an even swap, no picks, no nothing, right? It's like you almost have to take a chance. Like if you can basically just swap D'Lo for James Harden, you almost have to at that point, right? Because it's just like, but it's something I would definitely avoid and stay away from, at least right now. Let things play out. Let's see how things unfold. James Harden is kind of like, to me, James Harden would be like break glass in case of emergency type thing, where it's like, okay, like we're desperate. We need to, you know, maybe this works out. Need a big body center. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All the small ball clowns are proved wrong. See Wood and AD paired with Prince on the wing, and either D'Lo or Reeves is going to be the best lineup. I mean, it very well could be. Oh, Darvin Ham, I think, has done a good job experimenting, working on different things. He'll get it figured out. He'll get the rotation hashed out. That's what the early season is for. Lakers barely beat the Suns without Book and Beal. Lakers are trash, media hyping y'all up. We will see. It's easy to say second game of the season. And guess what? A win is a win. Whether you beat somebody by 100 or you beat them by 1. My problem, James Harden's health. He isn't the Iron Man anymore. So you got three stars who's missing at least 20 games. Yeah. That's definitely something of concern too. But I mean, he's usually been pretty good come playoff time. I mean, at least playing games. And I mean, if you have all three of them, you can kind of manage them throughout the course. You'd still have all your depth, so you'd still be good in that department. Like I said, to me, it's like that's like a worst case scenario, at least right now. I think this team needs time to gel. We have enough talent. Agreed. I'm with you, Flash. I am with you. Pass on Harden. Yeah. Where's Harden ever really succeeded? Dude's not a team player. I mean, if it wasn't for the Kevin Durant Warriors, James Harden probably has a championship or two. I mean, the James Harden Rockets were, I mean, they were the closest to beating the Warriors on several occasions. And I mean, one of those times they should have, and then they just went completely cold in that fourth quarter. Otherwise, they probably win that. Yo, what's good? What's going on, LeBron? Appreciate you being here. What do you think about Reeves coming off the bench and put Cam in the lineup since Vando's not there? D'Lo, Cam, Prince. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I think right now you got to stick with everybody. You're fine. I probably lean more towards Christian Wood in the starting lineup if you were going to go that case. But I do understand like going with Reddish as like the Vando, the temp, right? To where he's kind of like the point of attack guy, guarding the best player on the other team. He's got the size to do so. I do understand that. But right now I would wait. Like just stick to what you're doing. Keep experimenting with rotations. Vando will be back in 2 weeks, hopefully. And then insert him into the starting lineup. Give that a couple games to see how that looks. And then if you need to, that'll bring us like 20 so games in. You know, if it's not like if there's still like, okay, like maybe we're better off doing this, then try it. Let's see. Depth is keen. Lakers are good. Yes, Lakers will be fine. I mean, Lakers did just beat the Suns. So who's ready to beat the Queens? I am 100%. We got to get that W. Jason Tatum is on a trajectory to become one of the greatest elimination performers in the NBA history. Yeah. We said that all last year with Troy and Beasley. It may never come. But the difference is all the guys that are shooting poorly right now all shot well last year for the Lakers. Right? And we've already seen like guys like Torian Prince and stuff like that shoot well for the Lakers this season. Right? Like Rui and D'Lo with the Lakers. So it wasn't one of those things where Troy and Beasley came to the Lakers and were just inconsistent and couldn't shoot all season for the Lakers. No, D'Lo and Rui, or D'Lo and Reeves both shot 40% for the Lakers last season. I mean, D'Lo almost shot 42%. He was like 41.5 or something like that. So it's not the same thing in my opinion. Lakers played good defense. That's got to be their priority. Yeah, because I mean that's the one thing you can always count on, right? Shots not falling. Well, defensively you can lock down and you're in a good spot. Yeah, which is fantastic. I don't care about winning the in-season cup. I want the Lakers to win the NBA championship. Agreed. And that's kind of how I think the Lakers look at it too. Mavs lose the first 30 games, decide to blow it up. Lakers trade D'Lo and Rui in a pick or some for Kyrie. Lakers guarantee title. Let's get it. I mean, look, that's definitely something that that's in the back pocket, right? Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But I wouldn't like super hold your breath on Kyrie. I love Lakers show, but to be objective with the 80 inconsistency, I really do not see us being able to beat the Bucks or the Celtics because they are just way too loaded and still have some decent depth. I still think we're fine. Like neither of those teams have an answer with Anthony Davis. If guys start shooting and scoring and doing what they need to do, our depth is going to be where we hang our hat, right? Especially come playoff time, because we're going to be able to kind of wear teams down, which I think is important. Like that's how we beat Denver in the bubble, right? You threw JaVale, you threw Dwight Howard, you threw Anthony Davis. You know, you just kept rotating those guys game in and game out. Like Kevin Durant, right? In the Suns game, he wore down because we threw, you know, we were throwing AD and Christian Wood and Cam Reddish and, you know, Rui and all these guys. We just kept throwing bodies. Torian Prince, he's only one guy, right? So I think that'll help. But, you know, we definitely need Anthony Davis to be more consistent, right? I want to see him on a consistent basis do a better job. Christian Wood can't keep shooting bricks. He needs to be better if we're going to be successful. He will. Give it time. Again, law of averages should play out eventually. What's going on, Ryan? I think Gabe Vincent will close most games over D'Lo because of how many elite guards there are in the West. We will need his point of attack defense and reliable catch and shoot three-point shooting. If his catch and shoot three-point shooting starts knocking, the one concern that I have about Gabe Vincent, I do agree with you. I do think he closes over D'Lo a lot of the time, just because of the defense. Last season, Gabe Vincent was really bad shooting the basketball for Miami until the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, he got back to like 38, 40%, whatever it was, right? My concern is that he doesn't, like, he finds his stroke, but not enough to be where we need him to be, which is a bit of a concern. But I've been saying Reeves needs to come off the bench since the playoffs, shaking my head. And yeah, it's very possible that it could be a thing. Only rotation I'm seeing that isn't working, Vincent and AD lineups. Vincent doesn't feed AD enough, which is why the offense struggles with that unit. Yeah, which is why I think you got to keep – which is why I think Darvin Ham is starting to put, like, Reeves and D'Lo alongside Vincent. Because, look, I said it when we got Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent, he's not a great playmaker, right? He's – in the mold of like a George Hill, like a Mario Chalmers, like those kind of good catch, shoot, plays off the ball well, great kind of point guard to put alongside a LeBron James. So you see Gabe Vincent when he's alongside LeBron, it's having an easier time. He's just not hitting his shots. Eventually, he should start hitting his shots. But you're seeing him when he has to kind of be the main guy that's orchestrating the offense. It's not going very well. I think Lakers have the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th players, but some of the top teams have better 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, which will hurt us in the playoffs. Would like to see us trade for some okay-ish depth guys, which very well could be a possibility. We'll see more. I mean, right now it's their experiment stage. See what guys are looking, what guys we need. Lakers won the ring with 2 big game centers. When you guys open your eyes, you need 2 natural bigs. AD is a 4, Wood is a 4. Well, in the playoffs, Anthony Davis closed at the 5 a lot. We won the championship with AD closing at the 5, right? A lot of times they would start with like JaVale McGee, but then AD would close like the whole fourth quarter with Anthony Davis at the 5. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you have to play 2 bigs. Like AD should never play the 5. Like we won a championship with him at the 5. Like that Denver series, he was playing heavily at the 5, right? The Rocket series, he was playing heavily at the 5, right? He just wasn't playing primarily at the 5. And during the regular season, he was playing more 4, which you're starting to see that becoming a little more. Let's see. Lowe's, you're laughable. KD cooking anybody in the NBA is a natural thing, but the difference is putting body on him to get him tired, and hopefully he'll miss shots at the end, which is exactly what the Lakers did. Sign KPJ. You can't do it yet. You just can't. Like with everything that's going on, you gotta pass on that. For more solid blue chip role players, something like a Hayes and Reddish type, into the lineup players, KCP type, high level role players, just for examples. Yeah, but also all those teams want and need those guys, so it kind of becomes a little tough. Let's see. Start Reeves over Prince. I think Reeves or Prince's size and defense is very valuable right now. My last 2 comments are all 1 comments. I just couldn't fit. Yeah, I appreciate you, Hunter. Appreciate you. There is a difference between personal stuff and basketball. If signing KPJ means us winning a chip, it probably wouldn't. I would sign him. Yeah, I've talked about that too, right? You gotta separate the art from the artist, but right now it's just like it would be too hot to touch that right now. Like next season, I wouldn't like if the Lakers sign him for a project. I know a lot of people would be upset about that, but again, I could separate the art for the artist. I could think you're a terrible human being, but what do you do on the basketball court? That's all I care about. You're not my friend. I don't know you. I don't need to know you. I don't care who you are. This is the problem. KBJ is a head case. He's a distraction that would. What help would he be? Yeah, right now I think you're right. I think right now it wouldn't help very much. Just because I just think there's too much of a circus going on. was blowing out teams from the very start of the game. Yeah, they were more consistent. Lakers were 52-0 when having a lead in the third quarter. But sorry, trying to find something towards me. Do you think LeBron might play more point guard like 2020? I do in spots, right? He's not going to play point guard start to finish. If it was me, this is just my thoughts. I would start LeBron at point guard for position sake, but he's kind of basically the point guard. And then, like I said, I'd go with like a lineup of like D'Lo, Prince, Vando, LeBron, and AD. Put the ball in LeBron's hands. Let LeBron be the point guard to start the game. Then let the normal things play. Let D'Lo be the point guard and Reeves be the point guard through the second and third quarter, like the back half of the first, second, and third quarter. Then in that fourth quarter, I put the ball back in LeBron's hands. Go with your closing units. Take out D'Lo, put in Reeves or Gabe Vincent, whomever, and now you got like Reeves, Prince, Vando, LeBron, and AD, or Prince or whoever, or if Christian Wood is cooking, or if we're playing a bigger team, whatever, maybe you take out Prince and put in Wood, whatever. You kind of make that accordingly, but you have LeBron as the point guard to close the game. That's what I would like to see in that regard. Wood and AD is a must. You will find out. Yeah, I would like to see them get more minutes. Nobody wants Harden. Yeah, right now nobody does. He's just too much of a head case. I know the consensus is big, tall-bodied center, but who could the front office reasonably go after without trading anyone? That's why I'm saying, like, I'd rather wait right now. I mean, there are, like, again, there's guys like, Myers Leonard, DeMarcus Cousins, right? Especially if you're only having him play in those spots, right? Like, I just think you have to get a veteran guy, because a veteran guy who's out of the league right now, like a DeMarcus Cousins, like a Myers Leonard, whatever, they're going to be more accepting to like, okay, I'm going to get DMPs a lot, right? And you just kind of bring them in and just, play them in spots throughout the course of the season, but primarily for that Jokic matchup, that, Valanciunas matchup, that Vu matchup, that Embiid matchup, like those kind of matchups, like the bigger centers that could pose a problem. You just kind of throw them out there. That's kind of how I would look at it. It's still only one basketball, so it doesn't matter. What's up, my guy? Great show, as always. Thank you, Empire. I appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Let's see. To me, just get DeRozan. We just need a bucket that will not break the bank. Defense is fine. We just need a player that get a bucket that is that isn't expensive. I agree. Which is why, like, talked about it earlier with the super chat question. I look at it as like that's probably the most realistic and best course of action, and he solves a lot of what the Lakers' issue is. And I think because you can get him for like I would look to maybe get DeRozan and some other get DeRozan and like Drummond, and because especially if you end up trading Rui, now you can play Christian Wood at the 4 more. So like, do you go like D'Lo? I don't know if the money matches up off the top of my head, but it should be pretty close. Like if you go D'Lo and Rui and go get like Caruso, Drummond, and DeMar, I'm pretty sure the money works, or it's pretty close. Like maybe you have to throw in like a vet minimum guy or something like that. Maybe you have to throw in a Reddish or something if you had to. But then at that point, now you have basically Caruso off the bench. You have Drummond as a big body center. You can play Christian Wood primarily at the 4 now. So you have like Wood and AD as like your 4s with LeBron. And then Vando and Reddish, if you can keep Reddish, can be your like 3 guards and your defensive guys. You have Taurean Prince and Alex Caruso at the 2. Alex Caruso can also play the point guard. He works well with LeBron. You got like Reeves and Caruso as like high IQ guys that can play alongside LeBron. I just think that kind of balances it a little more. Just kind of a thought, but let's see. If the current team does not pan out, of course. Oh, okay, that was added to the end of that. Yes. True, brand new team. They haven't put the work ain't quite yet. Yeah, give it time. Everything works out. Everything works out. With the Kings in Sunday, would you consider playing Max Christie? Not sure why he hasn't gotten any burn. Because we don't have Jerry Vanderbilt. And Cam Reddish is just bigger and longer and is better defending multiple positions. And so it's just been a defensive assignment because you don't have Jerry Vanderbilt. I think Max Christie gets more opportunity once Vando comes back, right? Because once Vando comes back, then you can kind of run sets with him and Max Christie. Problem is that if you run like Reddish and Max Christie, now you're kind of running into the risk of like, Cam Reddish already struggles at times offensively. Max Christie, you need him to be great offensively. If he's not, then that lineup's not going to last very long. So I think it's kind of like you either got to play Max Christie or Cam Reddish, and right now we need Cam Reddish more. Max Christie he'll get his time. Don't worry. I didn't watch the Denver game. That's what they did all game. Jokic and Murray pick and roll. Yeah. Lakers ain't going nowhere with these guard play. They'll turn it around. Give it time. Law of averages. You think LeBron and AD will be playing Monday against the Magic? I hope so. That's definitely a big question. I just think it's so early in the season. If you were ever going to play them on a back-to-back, now's the time to play them on that back-to-back. Let's see. AD Lakers beat Denver in the bubble because they had a better offensive system and flow rather than D-Ham's 5-out bigs shooting threes offensively. We were worse offensively. We were 26th, 27th 3-point percentage. We were offensively, we were pretty good, like in general, but a lot of that was not shooting. It was just LeBron James was 4 years younger and was able to just drive and go get 30 a game. Anthony Davis was also bubble AD who was able to knock down threes and stuff like I'm not saying that there's one thing that beat us or that allowed us to win that series. But a big reason was wearing down Jokic. Also, Jokic was a little more overweight, right? We were a lot more physical with them. He tired out in the later games of that series. Like there was a lot that goes into it. But the Lakers weren't like this super high-powered offense that people try to make it out to be. Like we were very good offensively, don't get me wrong, but we weren't this like, we weren't Kevin Durant with the Warriors offensively, or even like Sacramento last year offensively. It was our defense. We were number one defense in the league. That really went a long way too. And we were third offensively, top 5 offensively, something like that. There were times where we were number one offensively. AD was robbed of Defense Player of the Year last year. Triple J, don't forget when AD dunked on Triple J. I agree. He was robbed of it. It's back-to-back. Yeah. Yes. If you were going to play a back-to-back game, it's got to be that. Issue of the Suns is that they will blow a lot of leads. Yeah. Definitely. AD averaged 26-12, basically a career year at the 5 this season. Better stop at 4. Yeah, I've talked about that. Anthony Davis literally had his best efficient season of the league, even this year, right? Go look at his shot chart. All of his shots are at the basket. He's not like if he's going to play the 4, then he needs to be shooting more outside shots. He's not. He's being aggressive, taking it to the rim, which is why he's best at the 5. Prince should start until Vando gets healthy and gets his legs. Agreed. What's going on with Reeves? He doesn't look the same as last year. He's hardly doing anything. Is he hurt? No, I just think guys are out of rhythm, out of sorts. I mean, nobody's looking good right now outside of like LeBron James and Anthony Davis and Taurean Prince in that first game. Give it time. I don't want to jump the gun, right? If we get, a handful or two into the season and Reeves and everybody is still struggling, then I think it's a pressing concern. But 2 games into the season, I don't think it's panic mode yet. Give it time. Our offense looks lost, man. It's been ugly because guys aren't hitting shots. I mean, every offense would look ugly when guys aren't able to hit shots. We're generating wide open looks. It's not the looks. Guys are getting the looks. It's just hitting the shot. You got to hit the shot. I wouldn't trade for Harden. They would want Rui, D'Lo, Max plus picks. No, yeah. If it's something crazy like that, yeah. You can miss me with that. Let's see. I feel like Jeannie would trade for Harden if Braun and AD want him. She would do it. That's something whether Laker fans like it or not. Vando solves a lot of problems. Yeah, I don't think LeBron and AD would want that though, especially with all the headaches and stuff. How do you feel about Zach Lavine if he became available? Do you think he'd really put us over the top for real? And would you rather have him or DeMar and Caruso? I would rather have Zach Lavine. One, he's younger, and two, he actually would be a better complement because of his ability to get to the rim. So, like, again, Lakers need over the top shooting, which Zach Lavine would give you that. On top of that, his speed and his ability to just get to the basket and generate offense as well as draw the foul and stuff is very valuable. That's one of the things that we're missing right now with Dennis Schroeder. I don't think the absence of Dennis Schroeder is as big as other people are making it out to be. But one of the things that made Dennis Schroeder great was his ability to just get to the basket, create contact, get fouled, get to the free throw line, and or just finish at the rim. Zach Lavine would basically be that supplement. He could just go and generate offense, shoot over the top, do all that stuff. Which DeMar DeRozan helps with the shooting over the top, helps with the offense, helps with the closer down the stretch. DeMar DeRozan solves a lot. Same thing with Caruso. But they don't have Zach Lavine's ability to just get to the rim at will. Hey, can you please discuss Harden trade to Lakers? So I already did, but again, just to briefly touch on it, to me, it's break glass in case of emergency. Like that, to me, James Harden would be the last resort. My biggest problems with James Harden is him disappearing in the playoffs, although his upside is a lot better than D'Lo, especially if D'Lo ends up disappearing in the playoffs too. But the other thing also is just there's just too much. It's too much of a circus with him, right? And and you always have that looming threat of if he has a bad day, he's just going to quit. And you can't have that in a guy that would be very important, right? So to me, it's kind of like James Harden would be the last case scenario because you'd have to trade D'Lo and Rui to go get him. And I just think if we're going to do that, it has to be the perfect storm, basically. He has to be perfect. What's going on, Jay? Appreciate you being here. How are you? Great to see you. Right now, our defense looks shaky, plus our offense looks lost. Hopefully, they pick it up because they will. Like I said, shots will start falling. Again, law of averages. Give it time. Law of averages. But the defense looked fantastic in that second half. And especially that fourth quarter. We just need that consistency. That's all it is. We got to get the consistency. Keen's offense is no joke. Yeah, they're great offensively. They're just historically bad defensively. They could bit me up. I get it. I don't think AD plays enough games for an award last year. I mean, he only played four games less than Triple J. And his numbers were like Anthony Davis could have missed 20 extra games and he still would have been better than Triple J last year. I think Reeves is probably trying to get back in his groove from Worlds. Yeah, like I said, it'll take time. We've seen enough of the guys to know that okay, they'll turn it around. They'll be back. This is the first time I've seen you do a Lakers talk hangout type stream. You should keep doing these. Well, first off, Hunter, thank you. I did them a lot more last season. I kind of took the off season off from live streaming. Obviously, I would post videos every day, but just kind of took it off from the off season. Just kind of rest and stuff because it is. But now we're in the season. Grind doesn't stop. So yeah, I'll definitely do a lot more of these randomly. I don't want to do a 10, 15-minute stream. So I usually have to kind of map out and figure out. So it's always going to be kind of random when I do it. It'll just kind of be okay, let me take 2 hours and do a live stream because, so I'd like it to be a little more consistent, but I got, wife, kids, stuff like that. So it's just I got to make the time for it. But yeah, definitely we'll do a lot more of these this season, but I appreciate you. Just a little idea if you want maybe every 10 games or so, you make a video giving each Laker a grade, either 1 through 10. A, B, C, D, E, F, based off of how they played. I think that would be a pretty cool thing. Yeah, maybe I'll definitely consider something like that. I usually will like break down individual players stuff like that after the game, but maybe we do like, X amount of days for awards and stuff. I love the idea. Appreciate you. I don't think Prince touched the ball enough last game. Yeah, I mean, he only took 5 shots total and only won 3. They need to attack more and open him up. If he's our 3-point threat, then the role, team's purpose, essentially, I mean, defense, obviously. Yeah. They just got to generate shots for him better. Also, Phoenix was doing what they could to make sure he didn't get going. So that's something else too. But I stay away from Bogdanovich. We could have used Bogdanovich last year, but this year he's not as big of a need. Good morning, by the way. Good morning. Appreciate you. How many first-round picks do we got, or do we have any? So we have, the 2029 pick or 2027 pick? One of those 2 picks. So we have one of those picks, and then we have like a 2030 or 2031 swap that we could do. So we don't have much in the pick regard, but I think we have like 3 seconds that we can put in. I'd have to look into it again. I haven't looked into it heavily, but I think it's something like that. I know we have I think it's 29th pick and then the 31st pick swap, and then I think 2 or 3 seconds. Lakers don't need trade; they need chemistry. Yeah, right now they don't. Won't feed the system. They just dribble, shoot. We benefit most with a post, a point guard, or a wing. Right now, probably a post, I would say. We need a center. We need a big booty, big body center. Is what we need more than anything right now. Because you do always have LeBron to operate the point guard if need be, and he's been more open. Did you do a recent video update on Vando? Yes, I did. I posted a video about it. So he's, for those that don't know, he was reevaluated. He's supposed to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So he's missing at least 2 more weeks, which sucks. But unfortunately, when you're playing for the Lakers, you're under the hot seat every year, whether the player or the coach. You got to show up. Bron and AD can't save us all the time. Agreed. It just comes with being a Laker. Lakers aren't in trouble. Lakers will be fine. They'll still win 50, 55 games. If they got Harden, it would turn into championship or bust. I mean, I feel like it's championship or bust now. I mean, you got enough talent. There's no excuses this year. They just got to build the chemistry. I did like some stuff Gabe brought, and his D was solid. Once his shot starts to fall, it will solve a lot of problems. Agreed. Like I said, my concern is just him. My concern is just him not being able to consistently shoot during the regular season. That was a real problem with him in Miami last year. I get AD had 30 last game and 13 in the fourth, but it was super quiet and didn't feel as impactful versus when LeBron was in the game. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't allowed 30, that's for sure. But I mean, I'll take the 30, take the 30 and what was 30 and 13 or whatever, 30 and 12. I'll take it, quiet or not. Just need consistency with it is what we need. If we was to get Harden, it would turn into a big 3 bull, and we don't need that, man. Yeah, like I said, it's something I stay away from right now. Again, kind of to me, just worst case scenario, it's like let's just take a shot type thing. Hopefully this works out type thing. We appreciate all that you do, Tyler. Thank you, Jay. I really appreciate it. I do. I genuinely love this. I love just being able to sit here and talk to everybody and hang out and all that stuff. Like I do. I genuinely love it. D'Lo role on the Lakers is secondary playmaker to reserve LeBron energy in the fourth quarter. Stop overhyping Reeves playmaking. He's not the level of D'Lo. I said that in a recent video. That's why I think you need to start D'Lo over Reeves. And then you close with Reeves. I love that you're always optimistic, even when things don't look good. You got to be. Again, got to let things play out. I think a lot of people, they just overreact and let their emotions get involved, which I understand. I'm a Laker fan too. I get upset when the Lakers lose. I understand it, but I just let things unfold, right? I always do the watch along streams, right? Do a live stream while the game's playing. We watch the game, have conversations. If you're not a part of that, join it. We'll do it tomorrow for the Laker game, all that stuff. But like, if you're in that stream, you just see everybody. Like, Lakers will be down 10 in the first quarter, and people are like, "It's over. That's it. Lakers, they're eliminated." Like, and it's just like, what do you like? Do you have another three? The game doesn't end after the first quarter. Let's be patient. And then the Lakers end up winning. Like, I literally had comments where people were like, I don't understand why you still believe, just face it, the Lakers are going to lose this game. Well, guess what? One of us was right. Okay? And it turned out to be the guy. And it's not that, like, people always like, which I appreciate, you're so optimistic. It's not even that. It's just, I'm willing to let things unfold. Like, even last season, "Oh, you're an idiot. You don't know basketball. This team sucks, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, yeah, they do right now. But let's wait and see what happens. Lakers end up making a trade. We're in the conference finals. Again, one of us was right. And I don't know the future. Let's just let things unfold. How do we know what this team looks like 10 games from now? What if this team is the best team in the league? Number one offense, number one defense? I don't know. Right? Like, people are like, stop speaking in hypotheticals. Like, that's all we have right now. We've only seen 2 games. How do you make an assessment off of 2 games? Like, how would you feel if you started a new job? 2 days into that job, while you're still learning and training, the job was like, you're not good enough, you're fired. And every job you went to, that's what happened. And 2 days in, you'd be fired. You never last at a job. Like, let's wait. Let's be patient. Give things time. But 2029 and year 2031 is so far away. It is. It absolutely is. How do you feel about LeBron playing Ham playing LeBron at the 5 sometimes? It actually is probably more of LeBron playing at the 5. But I don't mind it. I don't want it heavily. Like I said, our best lineup in that Denver game, even though it wasn't a long stretch, but it was like 4 minutes. It was like towards the end of the quarter, was LeBron and Rui at the 4 and 5. And that was actually very good for us last season too. So chances are that that's probably going to be a good lineup. I wouldn't want to play that heavily, but I do think in spots or against the right matchup or whatever, you could do that and it would work. And kind of play LeBron at the 0.5 or whatever. Do you think Austin and Rui have the potential to help AD in the future when LeBron retires? Or do you think once LeBron retires, we'll need to pick someone up? I do think that they absolutely have the potential. And here's something too. Like, when guys' roles change, it forces you to step up. So like right now, like a big concern is like this team is so reliant on LeBron, right? Like they're like a minus 36 or whatever when LeBron's off the court and a plus 29 when LeBron's on the court, right? But it's so natural and so easy to default to arguably, if not the greatest player ever, right? So when you have LeBron, it's this thing where it's like, get LeBron the ball, right? We're losing. Let's get LeBron the ball. Let LeBron figure it out. Where LeBron's kind of like, no, you guys figure it out. But you have that like safety net, right? It's kind of like, you have a rich parent and, you're like, I can mess up because daddy will pay for it. Daddy will bail me out. Like, I wish I had that. Let me tell you, I wish I had that. But, it's like you see somebody that's like, hey, like I can make those mistakes, or I don't have to be a lawyer because daddy will take care of me type thing. That's something that basically what it is, right? Like you got the guys that they can go out there and play, but they're in a role, in a position where we have LeBron, right? LeBron will make up for all the faults. Where once LeBron leaves and you don't have that, now it forces guys. So when did D'Lo emerge? Reeves. When did Austin Reeves emerge? He emerged when LeBron James got hurt and the Lakers needed somebody to step up desperately. Austin Reeves basically had no choice. It was like, if I'm going to play, now's my time. That, like, when LeBron leaves, guys like Rui, Reeves, and stuff like that, I do expect will be better because they won't have that safety net. It's kind of like the training wheels are off. It's time to go to work. You see that a lot. Same reason, right? Like with the Phoenix Suns. right? Like Bradley Beal and Devin Booker were out, right? So what did they do? They went and overachieved because they didn't have Devin Booker and Bradley Beal to default to, where when they're in the game, everyone defaults to them, right? And then when things started going bad, what did they do? They deferred to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant ran out of gas, and they weren't able to win the game because they had already, like, that was the defer, right? Like you saw Lakers last season, as bad as we were pre-trade, we won games without LeBron. We won games without LeBron and AD because guys had to step up. Guys didn't have that safety net. So it will. I think it'll be fine once he leaves. Already got that one. If he plays Braun at the 5, fire him. No, LeBron at the 5 has been fantastic. I agree with us being in championship or bust, but we can say we have the best roster in the league compared to other championship contenders. I don't think so unless we pick it up and stay consistent. Yeah, right now I wouldn't say that. I am with you. I'm just keeping it real. Yeah, facts. No, we still have a long way to go. A long way to go. Just let the Sixers handle their problems. Agreed. What time is the game tomorrow? We play the Kings, right? We need to win because we play the Warriors. Because they play the Warriors. No, they played the Warriors last night. And they lost to the Warriors at home. So it's going to be even harder because Sacramento's not going to want to lose two games back to back at home. But Francis Ngannou lost. Tyson Fury just beat Francis Ngannou. But the Laker game is, what time is it tomorrow? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. tomorrow. So Michael said fire him. Lakers fans hate losing, man. They lose one game and they think the season is over. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I get the passion. I understand it. I appreciate people are so like die hard for it, but it's just like, come on, like let's let things play out sometimes. Request to trade again and again. Agreed. Heck, the Clippers lost to the Jazz, and they had Kawhi, PG, and Russ. Yeah, it happens. Again, it happens. Guys lose games. There's still like people act like we played the YMCA, like the local Y. Right? Like there's still NBA players. There's still very good NBA players. They have some real talent on that roster. I've talked about it. I did a whole video about how I really liked what the Phoenix Suns did with rounding out the roster. Like we didn't play a bunch of like bums. D'Lo needs some holy water. I wouldn't play Braun at the 5 considering his age. That's kind of dangerous. Well, I mean, you're not playing him against like Jokic and stuff. You're playing him at the 5 against like smaller guys. Francis actually dropped Fury. I'm shocked. Fury still won though. Yeah. Great things take time. Exactly. Everything takes time. We need to find a way to counter the production when Braun goes out the game. He shouldn't have that much pressure on him late in this game. AD and Braun should be on the court at all times. It's just guys hitting shots. It's what it boils down to. Guys just need to hit shots. That's how you solve a lot, starting lineup should be I'm okay with the starting lineup that we got right now, at least a little longer, but I think eventually, like I said, move Reeves to the 6-man role, go D'Lo, Prince, Vando, LeBron, and AD is probably what I will do. Daddy will pay for it. Did you crash your parents' car too when you first got your license? No, like I said, I didn't have parents. Like my parents were. I grew up in a very opposite household. Let's put it like that. It was the opposite. Believe me. I wish, like I said earlier, I wish I had those I wish I had anybody that could just, there you go, like daddy money. No, I'm one of those people. I gotta work and grind for my money. The training wheels need to come off, be coming off now. It's the only way I see us thriving. Yeah, and they're gonna have to figure it out. That should be LeBron, Gabe, Prince, Vando, AD. I mean, I wouldn't hate that either, but you need some more shooting because the problem is Gabe Vincent can be a shooting liability. So is LeBron. So is Vando. You need a nice balance of both offense and defense. Because what teams would do with that lineup is just pack the paint and just let LeBron shoot, let Gabe Vincent shoot, let Vando shoot. Right? If Prince gets it, put a hand up, close Prince out. But if Prince beats you, then he beats you. Right? Like that. I mean, we would have a lot of trouble scoring. I really hope the West isn't close this year, man. I can't take it all. Yeah, hopefully there's like some separation. If we want to beat the Kings, we definitely can't shoot that poorly like we did the other night, or we will lose. Agreed. Um, you like the midseason championship? They took that idea from the WNBA. They have a Commissioner's Cup game, and they win money if they win. Yeah, I mean it's something that they float around for a long time, but yeah, it is the WNBA was where they tried it. So like the NBA had the idea, they wanted to test it, so they did the Commissioner Cup, and they always wanted to have like like an NCAA type tournament. And that's what this has been. They finally approved it. I don't mind it. I like that the games matter, that the games count. Right? If it was just trying to be some other thing, the problem is I just don't think teams are going to care as much. Right? The teams that can win a championship, they're not going to they're just going to treat it as anything else. Right? Like if Kevin Durant's got a little ankle injury, he's not going to play. They're going to sit him because they're going to try to win an NBA championship. So that's kind of where my problem is. I don't mind it if it's competitive. I know a lot of people like the play-in tournament. I don't. And look, the play-in tournament has had a lot of success for the NBA, which is why they want to do the in-season tournament, right? Because of the success. I don't like the play-in tournament because if you're not good enough to make the playoffs, then you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Like, why is a team that's the 10th seed, that's 8 games back of the 8th seed, have the same opportunity to overtake them? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, even the Clippers, right? Like, the Clippers, was it 2 years ago or whatever? Like, fought, clawed, grinded, ended up making the playoffs, right? And look, F the Clippers, but they did. Like, they ended up making the playoffs and would have been the 8th seed without Kawhi Leonard, without Paul George, just great coaching by Ty Lue and the role guys stepping up. And they ended up missing the playoffs because of the play. And look, the Lakers have benefited from the play, right? But I kind of want that removed. I don't know. I'm willing to give the in-season tournament a chance, but I just feel like they're kind of gimmicky. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to complain about basketball, right? I love games, and anything to give us more competitive basketball, I'm all for it. Time to sit. Time to sit back, relax, and watch what this group can do, trim the edges, and excess by January. Yeah, exactly. Do you wish we brought back everyone from last year's Western Conference Finals? I feel like the roster was better, and we could just focus on building chemistry. I feel like this toxic trading culture is messing up the team. I mean, well, we brought back all the guys that actually played. Malik Beasley was awful and was unplayable. And I was hoping he'd turn it around. Maybe you could have brought him back and maybe he would have turned it around. That would have been nice, but I don't think he's like this huge, like necessary piece. Dennis Schroeder would have been nice to bring back, but I think Gabe Vincent will be a little more consistent from what we need. So I think we're fine there. And then, Troy Brown, Torian Prince is an upgrade over him. Mo Bamba, we didn't even really get to see him because he was injured the entire time. And I think Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood would be better. So I think we're perfect. I think we brought back the pieces that we needed to bring back and upgraded in the areas that we needed to upgrade. End of the day, these people are professional basketball players. They're supposed to go out there and hoop regardless of who playing. I agree with you 100%, Jay. But unfortunately, that's just how the reality is. I mean, you look at like Kobe with the Lakers, right? What had happened? Lakers would always defer with Kobe. There are all the memes, all the talks of like everyone's just standing around while Kobe's just jacking up shots, right? Like it's just how it works in the league. When the superstar is on the court, they get the basketball. Yeah. Yep. Getting the minutes and rotation down will be the toughest part this season. I have confidence in the coach staff. Agreed. I'm with you, Dan. Adam. Lakers have a good bench. They just got to get it together. Yeah, again, everything takes time. Mark, what's up? Yeah, how you doing? Hope all is well with you, man. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you popping in. Fans, mental health for overly FX. I think we'll see the true potential of this team when LeBron James and AD are out for a game, and you have to rely on all your role players to get the win. Exactly. NBA Cup equals midterms. Yeah, basically. Kind of reminds me of soccer. Yeah, it's kind of what they're going for. Um, why they keep pushing this James Harden to Laker stuff? Like, let him go to the Clippers. We don't need him because I mean, it's the Lakers and he's a star. It's to me, it's really that simple. It's basically what it is. Just it's the Lakers and here's a star that's available, and the Lakers love to chase stars. But yeah, I would keep him away personally. I'm with you. Where are we in the standings right now? We are. I mean, it's 2 games in, but we're the 7th seed. So, um, you know, guys just got to maintain, even with the 1-1 record. We and not the Celtics are trading their players, and no farewell tour. Um, I like the play-in tournament, but it should be only 7, 8, 9, not no damn 10 seed. Here's I've talked about this before. Like here was my like thoughts on that. I think you should have the play-in depending on the difference in uh like have a cutoff for wins and losses, right? So if it's like a game or two, then let them play it off. So like let's say the 9th seed is like 2 games out of the 8th, then fine, have the play-in tournament. Same thing with the 10th seed. Like if, let's say the 10th seed is like 2 games or 3 games out of the 8th seed. Sure, fine. Go to the play-in tournament. But like there should be a cutoff. If the 9th and 10th seed are like 4 or 5 games back of like said team, then no. Why are we? Because they didn't do their job, or even if it was injuries or whatever, that's part of the game of basketball. You should have built a better team that was able to weather that, right? Like whatever, right? Like I just I just think that there needs to be more parameters because we've seen like every year now teams that like just didn't belong there and shouldn't even have been there are getting an opportunity, whether they make it or not, right? They're still getting the opportunity, and there's still that chance of like what happened to the Clippers a couple years ago, right? I'm not a fan of the tournament either. Yeah, Jay tied for second, only undefeated team is Denver. Everyone else is 1-1. Yeah. Um, Gabe Vincent hasn't shown much yet. He needs to shoot better. Yeah, but that's again a bit of a concern of mine because last season he didn't shoot the ball very well for Miami until the postseason. So I'm hoping he turns it around. Tennis shooter and bees are starting on contenders. Laker fan hate was strong. Yeah, but I mean also Dennis Schroeder and Beasley weren't playing very great for the Lakers, and I don't know if Dennis Schroeder is starting on a contender. I mean, is Toronto a contender? I don't think so, but I get your point. I think this team has potential to be very good. I think this team is going to be very. I still fully believe they win 50 to 55 games. I do. I just think they have too much talent. They'll figure it out. It'll be a matter of time, right? They got too many guys that are used to playing big, significant roles that now have to take a step back and figure it out. That takes time, right? Again, you had Christian Wood, who is the second leading scorer for the Dallas Mavericks last season and has basically been the number 1 or number 2 option everywhere he's been. And now he's going not to like the number 3 option. He's going to like the 7th option, right? So like that's a big, drastic change, right? Guys, again, like D'Angelo Russell's going from like anywhere from the 1st to 3rd option to like the 4th option, right? Austin Reeves, he's still trying to navigate and figure things out. Rui's going from, basically being with the Wizards and being like, a top 3 option to like now he's like the 6th or 7th guy, right? Like, and you got all these new pieces, all these things. It's just they got to figure it out. Here, give me 1 second. I got to plug my laptop in. All right, thank you. Sorry about that. My laptop was about to die. Although we didn't look good in the past 3 games, but we're going to be a problem this year. Yeah, we'll be fine. We will be okay. Do you think it's possible to trade for Caruso and Lavine in the offseason? I don't know if they'll even be there in the offseason. I don't think we'll be able to get Zach Lavine. I would love it. Personally, I just don't think we have enough to acquire Zach Lavine, and I think some of these other teams would pony up to go get him, and it wouldn't take much for them to outbid us. But I do think we could get like DeMar DeRozan, and also the Bulls' asking price for Caruso needs to drop because they want like 2 firsts or something like that for Caruso. Where did preseason D'Lo and playoff Rui and Reeves gone to? They'll be back. Don't worry. Like I said, give it a little time. They'll come around. I think the Lakers play more 4 out, 1 in, and more than 5 out offense because they can't score. Yeah, but once they start scoring, that's where it'll be effective. I mean, it's easy to say like, oh, they should do this, that, and the other. But I mean, at the end of the day, they got to hit shots. You know what I mean? Like hit shots, make shots. You hit some shots, we'll be good. That's really what it's boiled down to, is just us not hitting shots. I'm not sure if you follow hockey, but would you prefer the NBA playoff format or in an NHL? The NHL format is top 3 teams of each division make the playoffs. Yeah, so like I follow hockey enough to have basic understanding, and one of my kids is like obsessed with hockey in the Vegas Knights, the Golden Knights. When he gets old enough, maybe we'll do like a little channel with him, and he can talk about the Golden Knights. He's almost there. He's like 10, so he'll get there. But I digress. I wouldn't mind the NHL format, but like problem is it's like I guess you could do it like by division, like maybe the number 1 seed or 2 seed in each division. You could do it like the MLB playoffs, but I don't mind where we're at right now, like top 8 seeds from each conference. I think if you were going to change anything, just make it the top 16 teams. Like you don't even need to have the play-in or anything at that point. Just who are the top 16 teams? Put those teams together and let them duke it out. I think you'd have a lot more better matchups because I think you'd have like in the first round a team like the Warriors and like the Knicks, or like the Warriors and the Nuggets or something like that. It's like boom, that's the first round matchup, and then you have like the Bucks and the Clippers play, or like the Bucks and the Celtics play, or whatever, right? Like it's just I think you'd have like better matchups. I think it'd be tougher. I think then you could say like, oh, this was clearly the best team in the league, rather than like one team just coasted through, a bunch of, bums or whatever in the first round, ended up walking to the NBA finals. And then, the other team had to go through the juggernaut that is the Western Conference. Like, I just think like you'd get rid of a lot of the disparity, you'd get rid of like, I don't know. I think if you were going to change it, go that route. Hopefully we can stay healthy enough to keep LeBron and AD fresh for the playoffs, maybe pull off a 15-game win streak. I would love that. Trade for Crusoe and have the hillbilly backcourt with Reeves and Alex. I wouldn't mind that. I think the Grizzlies won't make the playoffs. I talked about that. I made a whole video about that on As It Stands Sports. They're going to be in trouble. They're going to be in big trouble. And the problem is when Ja does come back, because he's missing, 25 games or whatever. When Ja does come back, who knows what if he takes another, 10 games to get his legs under him? Because he can't even work out at the facility. I have a feeling the Lakers are going to trade for a star at the deadline. It's very possible. Very possible. Other note, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal not playing in the second game of the year kind of backs my point with the Suns. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs because of health. Same with the Flippers. Yeah, that's why I not fully bought in and belief in them. Like Trae Young or Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie. I mean, if I could pick either of them, it would be Kyrie. I wouldn't hate Trae Young. The problem is he's just so high usage on the ball and just loves to turn the ball over. I think he might hurt more at times than help. But Kyrie literally solves. If the Lakers trade for Kyrie at any point this season, I am hammering them to win the NBA championship. No, I don't think anybody beats the Lakers if they get Kyrie. Because the Lakers could go and trade for Kyrie and keep basically all of their depth. You could go take Rui and D'Lo, go get Kyrie Irving. You'd still have all of your depth, all of your talent, and Kyrie solves basically all of your problems, right? Like, yeah, we'd still need a big booty for Jokic. I don't care. They're not beating Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. All these games have been close without Kyrie. Imagine if we have Kyrie. Like, if Lakers get Kyrie at any point this season, I am hammering the Lakers to win the NBA championship this year. Hammering them. Like, if we struggle till Christmas, would you want the Lakers to trade for a Harden? He compliments AD in the pick and roll. Maybe not till Christmas. I would wait till the trade deadline. I would wait to see like what develop, because like again, what if Kyrie or something like that does become available, right? Or a better option becomes available that the Lakers can actually get, and then you basically blew your wad and James Harden. It's like, oh man, we could have gotten Kyrie, which would have fit better, and put us over the top, and you don't have to worry about him disappearing in the playoffs. But I do think Harden is kind of like a break glass in case of emergency. Like if all else fails, go trade for James Harden. If assuming we're bad, like if we don't figure it out between now and the trade deadline. We have too many teams in the playoffs. Just do top 4 from each conference. Yeah, you can do it. Who do you want to face in the playoffs? If for me, I want the Suns and then the Nuggets in the second round and Western. So I am with you. I want to play all the best teams. I said it last season too. Like I do. I want to play all the best teams. Because to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Beat them. Because then there's no like talk where like, if the Nuggets and the Suns play each other in the second round and, the Suns beat the Nuggets, right? And then we beat the Suns, people are going to be like, oh, well, you wouldn't have beat the Nuggets, right? And you got all that talk. Well, if we played, say, Denver in the second round and then the Suns in the first in the conference finals and we beat both of them, there's like, what are you going to say? Nothing you could say. Go sit down. 25 games is a big jump. Agreed. Also, am I the only one who hates the All-Star game format? And I think they should lean more into talent conference for the All-Star pool. So they are supposed to bring it back to East versus West, which I like. I just think the All-Star weekend and All-Star games are just they're almost unwatchable at this point. They're not what they once used to be. They used to be very good. I used to love watching those games. They're just not what they once were, which is unfortunate. The only way I think you fix that is like you have to have like a real incentive, right? And it's more than just money. Like you have to have a real incentive. But I want to just kind of go back to what it used to be, man. Those were the days, right? Go back to wearing like the actual jersey. Like one way that I've talked about that I think could fix it is if you made it US versus the world, because now there's like passion behind it. You don't think like Luka and Jokic and Giannis and them, you don't think that they want to go and smack Team USA and show that the world is the best in the NBA, right? And there's all this talk about like the world versus US and all that stuff. Like I just think that that'd be such a great narrative, right? The problem is like if there are years where like the world doesn't have stuff, but then you could even do it like a lineage thing where like, a guy, yeah, he's born and raised in the US, but he's like, France, like his parents were from France or something like that, then he can play for the world, like whatever. So instead of 13 from each conference, do 26 total and then have the draft. Oh, you're talking about for the All-Star, yeah. That's what I'm wondering. If we traded Rui and D'Lo for Kyrie, we're getting rid of the post and a guard, and we already have black post work and way AD's been acting. Wood is just okay. Yeah, but I think you'd be fine. Like, because again, Kyrie would make up for so much of the Lakers' hole. So much of the Lakers' hole. You'd have that guy that get to the basket and apply rim pressure. You get that over the top scorer. You get that consistent scorer. You get a closer. You get a big shot maker. You get a guy that can knock down threes. You get more consistency in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it solves a lot. A lot, right? And then with the post play, I mean, you'd have Anthony Davis, you'd have Jackson Hayes, You'd have, or not Jackson Hayes for post play, but you have him as your backup center. You have Anthony Davis. You could go and move Wood at the 4 more. I think you'd be fine there. You go a little bigger. It is nice at times to be able to just dump it down to Rui in the post and let him go to work. But you have LeBron. You can do that with him. You can do that with Wood once his shot starts falling. I think he'd be fine. Kyrie just makes up for so much of what you need. I think you'd be okay. And then because you're doing a 2-for-1 trade, bring in, like I said, a DeMarcus Cousins or like a Myers Leonard or something like that. Or maybe you could even go do a small trade and go get Valanciunas, right? If you don't have to sell the farm on Kyrie, go get Valanciunas, right? Because the Pelicans don't want to lose him for nothing. They've already had talks about him, and they're expected to trade him before the trade deadline or before the trade deadline's over. Go get Valanciunas. That gives you a post play if you need it. You think they would trade AD for Embiid if they get tired of AD being inconsistent? Yeah. So who was it? Nick Wright was the one that tried to make this argument. Problem is defensively, I don't know how good we would be. Anthony Davis makes up for so much of our defense. Anthony Davis alone turns us from a mediocre, towards the end of the pack type defense to literally one of the best by himself. You saw last year, we were top 15 defensively with just Anthony Davis and a bunch of 6-foot guards. And then you add in Jared Vanderbilt and we just shoot up to number 1 because you don't need much defense with Anthony. His impact is so great. The other thing is Anthony Davis has been a historically better playoff performer, right? Embiid will give you more consistency throughout the regular season, but he likes to disappear in the playoffs, and that becomes a big problem. Personally, I wouldn't. I'd rather keep AD. If you could get Embiid without giving up AD, I would do that. I don't think that happens. But to just basically even swap AD for Embiid, I'm not I just think AD does so much more than score the basketball. Right? It's just we need the other guys to chip in offensively. And that's why if you could go get another scorer, I think that you're A1, right? Another consistent scorer like a Kyrie or whatever. So I'd rather save our assets or whatever to go get a Kyrie than go and swap AD for Embiid. So yeah. I actually like that Tyler, the best world players in the NBA versus the American ones. Exactly. I just think you'd have so much. I think that would be enough of a spark, I think, to actually get guys to want to play again. Because that's the problem. The All-Star game is just them. It's basically a slam dunk contest and a free throw contest and a 3-point contest until the last minute of the fourth quarter, and then teams try to lock down a little bit. But at that point, it's usually a blowout. That's just usually how it goes. Where I would rather see them, just go world versus the U.S. Now you have that competition. You have the pride, right? And even I'd even give them jerseys with their national flag, right? Give them jerseys with their flags on it and stuff like that. You think if they're wearing their flag on their jersey, they're not going to want to play? Of course they are. They're going to want to represent and be prideful of their history, right? Of where they come from. I just think that makes it so much more impactful. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just a thought. What's up, Captain Crutch? How are you, Lee? Appreciate you being here. We're going to wrap up here shortly. Just trying to get through. I fully agree. Just trying to get through the last of these comments. I do think there should be a off-court mentor or counsel that helps rookie professional athletes because of how many of them throw away the future of generational wealth over something stupid. There is. They have entire classes and stuff that you're supposed to take. Problem is that people are going to do what they want to do regardless. They have business names, and now you're assigned a vet and all kinds of stuff, and they kind of help you. It's just the problem is you're giving 19-year-old kids millions of dollars and expecting them to not want to blow it. Of course they will. At 19, if you gave me a couple $1 million, you kidding me? I'd be doing what a lot of these NBA players are doing. The women, the partying, because that's just what comes with it, right? And that's what it is. They're 19. At 19, what are you doing? You're trying to go out and get some strange, and you're trying to, live your best life, and you're doing it on a broke man budget. imagine if you had the money to really do it. Like, so I mean, that to me, that's what it is. It's just kind of like you're giving these kids like ridiculous amount of money, and especially kids that come from usually impoverished areas, right? Like again, at 19, like now I'm more mature, I'm older, like I've had to work my whole life to get to the point where I'm at in life. I understand money and finances and budgeting and stuff. Like I had to learn that. Growing up poor and not having money, and even nights where it's like, what are we going to eat? Oh, here's tortilla with butter, and like having no electricity and stuff like that. You get money, it's like, oh man, like wait a minute, let's go. Like, hey, don't worry about it. I got you, my boy. Like, don't even treat like your friends don't have like that's what it becomes. It just becomes, when you go from no money to all of a sudden you have money. Oh, let me take care of my family. Let me take care of moms. Right? Oh, my boy, don't even trip. I got you. Here's $100K. Rather than like, hey, you need it. Like, what about your future? What happens if that goes away? Like your boy's going to blow that $100K and you're not going to have it. You know what I mean? That's just, I mean, I could spend an hour talking about like just the money aspect of things. Like, why do a lot of lottery winners go broke? Because they never had money before, and they get money and they blow it, and they don't keep track, and they don't get a financial advisor, and they don't do all this stuff, and they end up screwed. It's just, fortunately, the way it works. So, they'll end up with Kyrie Irving. I hope so. I want Kyrie or DeMar DeRozan, likewise. And the last choice would be Trae Young, because LeBron like those type of point guards who can score. Like, I mean, like I said, Trae Young, I wouldn't hate it, but it's kind of like, it's kind of my last choice there. And the Americans would want to prove that they're the best, exactly, because U.S. is the best country. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Jay, you picking up what I'm putting down? I think the Lakers will figure the rotation because they always need it without LeBron on the court. Yeah, it'll come. Again, it's 2 games into the season, right? Like, again, let's let things unfold. You think the Clippers going to blow it up if they don't get to the finals or get hurt early? Yes. The problem is that they're kind of in a rock and a hard place, because they're probably not going to trade Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They're probably going to try to see this through. And if they end up getting hurt, then they're not going to make the playoffs, and no one's going to trade for a hurt Kawhi Leonard and a hurt Paul George. Like, Clippers needed to already trade them. They needed to trade them this offseason. Because if you would have traded them this offseason, you probably would have gotten a lot in return, especially when teams are seeing Dame go to Milwaukee, and the Celtics go get Kristaps Porzingis and all that. Like, if the Clippers were smart, they should have traded it last season, because they're not winning an NBA championship. Is Bronny going to play this year? I seen his little USC intro. I don't know if he's playing. He's supposed to. He's expected to. So, other millions at 19, I wouldn't know what to do myself. Exactly. Again, you going out, you're living your best life, right? Like, at 19, are you kidding me? Like, I'm telling you, I'd be fitted head to toe. I'd be driving a nice whip. I'd have, baddies in the back seat. Like, we'd be going club and party at 19. Are you kidding me? Like, God. My dad needs them glasses. Guns on IG Live. Yeah, seriously. Tortilla with butter hits different. It really does. You know what's funny is like people always make fun of me because like I can't eat peanut butter. I mean, I can. I have. But like if I was chilling, like let's say we're over at your house and like you just chilling and it's like, oh man, like let me like I'm gonna make a PB&J. You want a PB&J? I like just the thought of it disgusts me. Because like that's all we would eat is like peanut butter and jelly, butter with toast, or butter with or tortilla with butter, toast, like stuff like that, or like top ramen, or you make like the spread. If you know what spread is, you know what spread is. Like you make spreads and stuff like that. Like that's kind of like what we ate. That's like what we got. There would be times where you get maybe like a steak one night. It's like, oh man, like it was a good day, right? Like or whatever, something like that. A lot of chicken and like potatoes and stuff, just because like not now, but like when I grew up, it was cheap. Like you could get like a huge bag of potatoes for like $1. Right now, it's like $10. It's like crazy, but like like it was always like the cheap stuff. Like whatever you could get with like food stamps and stuff like that, which now you can pretty much get anything, but back in the day you couldn't, right? And then like even like the booklets and stuff. Like now everything's like digitized stuff. So Again, just different times, different time. We hear what it's yeah, thanks. We're fine. Only a couple games in. We will figure it out. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I still can't believe Dame went to the Bucks. I wish he would have came to us. I wish he would have came to us too. But hey, I'm excited to see how that works out. I heard the Knicks were interested in Paul George and they almost traded for him and on draft night, but the Knicks called it off because Paul George wanted to be extended. Yeah, and the Clippers wanted too much. Like they were supposed to pull the trigger, but they wanted like an insane package, and the Knicks just said nah. I love potatoes. Yeah, I like potatoes too. I'll eat potatoes now, but just like I don't know why, like whatever, like PB and J's, like I just like if I never had to eat another PB and J, I'd be straight. Like just and I have kids, so they love peanut butter and jellies and stuff. But the economy and inflation now isn't any facts. It is. It's tough. Yeah, I remember when chips were for $4. Yeah, I remember when a lot of that stuff is, man. Like you used to be able to get a lot for $1. Like I remember as a kid, like you go and like you hustle and stuff like that. You go make a couple bucks, man. Like you could eat for like a week on like $5. Now like $5 doesn't even get you a pack of gum. It's like what are you supposed to do with it? I think James Harden's going to the Clippers. So I actually kind of do too. I kind of lean. I think if the Clippers struggle, which I think they will, and I think they'll get kind of in desperation mode because like they have two options: they either blow it up or they go for a Hail Mary, and I think the Hail Mary will be James Harden. I think we just need to get the Harden situation taken care of so everybody can focus on basketball. Yeah, I can understand that. If I was Sixers, I would have traded James Harden and the Clippers already. I would have too. I just think it's a distraction for no reason. I've talked a lot about the James Harden situation over on As It Stands Sports. You guys can go hear my opinion over there. But I don't know. It's I don't know if I think that they should just have done it already. How can the Clippers get Harden with all that they have? Russ, Paul George, and Kawhi, because they have like several big expiring contracts. So like the whole trade idea is like Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, or Marcus Morris, and then they want Terrence Mann. Clippers don't want to trade Terrence Mann, but the money lines up, and then they'd give up a first and a pick swap, and then there you go. Lakers have target of players on the radar. Of course, it's the Lakers. Lakers always are keeping eyes engaged. Look, if something that makes sense becomes available, Rob Pelinka is going to take it. Like if Rob Pelinka can find something that makes sense for the Lakers, he's going to do it. I mean, he's proven enough that he knows what he's doing. They going to probably trade James Harden probably on the 15th of December. Yeah, probably. I need to check your other channel for insight on other teams because I literally only watch and keep up with the Lakers. So I only see other teams where we play them. Yeah, definitely go check it out. I have As It Stands Sports, then I have the Laker channel. I have another like podcast one that I want to start posting on more. And I have like a couple ideas with that, kind of trying to figure out exactly what direction I want to go. But yeah, As It Stands Sports, and then obviously this channel, you'll basically get good bulk of the news on a little bit of everything. Here, I'll see what I'll do. Give me a second because I'm gonna skate out of here in a moment too. Let me see. There it is. Oh. So there is my sports channel. So that is the As It Stands Sports. I just basically talk about all the other teams other than the Lakers. Stick to Lakers on these channels, and then talk about all the other teams on that channel. Like I was talking, like today I posted a video about OKC. So yeah, go check that out. Subscribe. I'd appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Clippers assets trash for James Harden. Yeah, it's just because nobody wants James Harden. Supply and demand. Rui needs more post-ups, in my opinion, and AD shooter on the floor. Yeah. If we struggle, we can get Harden. Our backcourt would be nice. Yeah, we'll be okay. For Brogdon, I'm not like super high on Brogdon. I'd kind of rather have D'Lo. I mean, Brogdon's okay, but he also gets hurt a lot. If the Paul George or Kawhi leave the Clippers, they're going to try to get traded from other teams to the Lakers. I have a feeling that's going to happen. I can see Paul George. Kawhi, I don't think he really cares that much. But, I mean, you can make an argument both of them might want to stay in LA. So, do you watch other teams, Tyler, or just research them? No, I both. Like I'm a student of the sport. I love the sport. Like I'm up to date with all of it. Because I actually started with As It Stands Sports, and I made a couple Laker videos that did really well. But I was like, I don't want to only talk about the Lakers here, so I was like, let me start a Lakers channel, and then this one just took off. Where the other one's still slowly growing. And I also was doing like I actually kind of got in trouble on the As It Stands Sports because I was doing the watch along streams, but I was showing the game on the screen, and that's like a no. So a lot of the subscribers from that were because of that. So kind of like in that like weird space where like I have like 6,000 subs, but like half of those don't care because they just want to watch like games. So got to kind of like grow that again. Who would you want that's around 18 to 28 million a year? A couple people. Miles Turner, DeMar DeRozan, Kyrie Irving, guys like that. What do you think our record will be by the trade deadline? What do you think the record will be? So let's say we're like, what is that? We're usually like 50 games in at that point, 45 games in. Let's call it 45 games. If we're gonna win 50 games, we got to be like 30 and 15, something like that. Yeah, like 30 and 15, somewhere around there. They snitched on you, Tyler. Yeah, YouTube. Well, actually, believe it or not, I didn't get like any copyright things or anything like that. But like YouTube, like is strict about it, so they ended up like flagging a bunch of stuff. And so I was like, oh, I got to stop doing that. So yeah, you live and you learn, right? I thought Turner was a franchise guy. He's not a franchise guy. I mean, he's really good, but he's not a guy you're building your team around. Kyrie got under the max, but yeah, it was like a little under the max. I don't believe it was the max, but it was pretty close. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys. We will do all of the live streams again tomorrow for the game. I'll do the watch along stream. We'll do the post game live stream. So make sure you guys are all hanging out for that. Or I'll answer this last question real quick. How would a trade for Kyrie or Trae Young or DeMar would work? All of those trades are gonna have to take Rui and D'Lo. So you're probably looking at D'Lo, Rui, first round, and like a pick swap for probably Trae Young. DeRozan, I don't think you'd have to give up much for because he's an expiring contract. And then Kyrie, you'd probably have to. So Trae Young and Kyrie, you probably have to give up a first, Rui, D'Lo. DeRozan, you could probably just get like Rui and D'Lo, and then there you go. But he would be elite. He would help a lot. But yeah. Anyway, again, in closing, yeah, go. Hope to see you guys at the watch along stream. If you can't make the watch along stream, hopefully you see you at the post game stream. I know it's a lot of live stream, but if you can pop in and out, all that stuff, you guys are awesome. Again, thank you everyone for that game super chats. I really do appreciate it. It really does help me out a ton. Red Pill, Christian, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Everyone, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. You guys are beautiful. I'll see you all